Hello team, welcome back to V Project UK. So in the modern detailing world, everybody loves a good snow foam. However, you might not have the means to have access to water, or you might not have the pressure washer set up and the cost and equipment involved which you need to do a good snow foam. So in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the IK 1.5 foamer to see, is this a suitable alternative to snow foam your vehicle when you're detailing your car. So for this year, we've upgraded our video equipment and we've upgraded our microphones as well. So without wasting too much time, let's start the video. So the first thing to mention is that not everybody is going to have access to free running water, let alone have the equipment which is necessary to do a good professional snow foam. As with everything else in life, if you want professional results, the chances are you'll need to invest in professional products. So to do a good snow foam, first of all, you'll need a pressure washer. Even if you get an entry-level pressure washer like this Karcher, which is more than suitable or powerful enough to do a snow foam. You'll obviously need to buy the snow foam itself. And you'll also need to invest money in a good trigger gun for your pressure washer. And on top of that, you'll also need to get the actual pressure washer bottle itself. And on top of all of that, you also need to invest in all of the fittings which are necessary for your pressure washer to actually produce a good quality snow foam. And that all adds up. Added to all of that, when you are snow foaming your vehicle, by the time you set up your equipment, if you haven't got it set up already, clean, snow foam your vehicle and then put everything away can be quite time consuming. So that is the first thing to consider when you're discussing a snow foam. So this is where something like the IK 1.5 foamer could come in. However, is the foam from something like this going to be just as good as a foam from a professional setup like a full snow foam setup as we've shown? Or are there downfalls to using something like this? And that is one of the things we're going to discuss in today's video. If you haven't seen it already, check out our PIR video, which will discuss PIR ratios and the effectiveness of snow foams. And that is also something we're going to discuss. But we'll link that video in the corner here. So if you've not seen it, check it out. But we'll touch on that as this video progresses as well. So before we go any further, let's just have a look at the actual foamer itself. The first thing you'll notice when you get this out of the box is just how solid the construction is. It's made of really thick thermoplastic. Everything fits and finishes really well. There's no squeaks or rattles and everything just feels super solid when you actually use the foamer itself. So that's the first thing you will notice. Now, what we will say at the start of this video is that just because we are demonstrating the IK foamer doesn't mean that this is the one you should buy. This is just an example to give you an idea of what snow foamers can do that are not attached to pressure washers, and there's plenty of foamers out there on the market. But today, because this is what we have, we'll focus on the IK 1.5 foamer. So, taking a closer look, what you'll have is your pump trigger. You'll have your actual trigger itself to release the snow foam. Pressure release valve just there, which you open to actually release the pressure when you're finished using your foamer. The actual nozzle itself, of which there are different types, which we'll discuss in a second. And quite handily, on the actual bottle itself, you've got all the measurement markings. Now, with this particular foamer, even though it's a 1.5 foamer, basically you do not want to fill it all the way. The maximum you want to do is fill it up to the 1 litre mark, because you need that ½ litre of air to actually generate the pressure. So the maximum you'll actually get, even though this is a 1.5 foamer, as it says there, you'll actually get 1 litre of product inside the actual foamer itself at any one time. So just bear that in mind, do not overfill it because that will reduce the performance of the actual foamer itself. Now, when you buy the foamer, you're going to get this inside the packet as well. You've basically got some spare filters, which is what actually creates some of the foam in the actual foamer itself. And then you'll get an orange nozzle and a green nozzle. We'll just show you these now. And basically, something we're going to discuss in a second once we've gone through this is the actual type of foam that this will produce. So you've got these filters, and we'll show you where those go very shortly. You've got an orange nozzle, which will basically give you a very wet foam. And you've got a green nozzle, which will give you a very dry foam. And in the actual foamer itself, when you get it out of the box, you'll have either a purple or black nozzle, which will give you the intermediate foam, which will basically be very similar to the foam you'll get from your pressure washer and SnowFoam system when you actually get the actual consistency correct. So that will be the most equivalent to what you would get from a pressure washer. So that is a very quick look at the actual foamer itself. The whole purpose of this video is to discuss one topic about SnowFoams. As mentioned at the start of the video, if you've not seen our PIR video about the right PIR and does PIR make a difference when you're SnowFoaming your vehicle, check that video out that we linked earlier, which covers that subject in detail, so we won't go over that again in today's video. However, the subject of today's video, as well as demonstrating the IK 1.5 foamer, is to discuss the type of foam. When you watch a lot of YouTube videos and loads of videos on Instagram, as mentioned at the start again, SnowFoaming is so therapeutic. People love watching SnowFoaming videos and actually SnowFoaming their vehicles themselves. However, as well as the PIR being correct, the actual type of foam, whether it's wet, intermediate or dry, also makes a massive difference to the effectiveness of the SnowFoam itself. The simple answer is that an intermediate SnowFoam, i.e. one that's not too wet or too dry, is optimal in cleaning. And this is something we will demonstrate in a few moments time in this video. If you've got the SnowFoam too wet, it's not going to be as effective as cleaning that debris off your vehicle. And if you've got it too dry, it's virtually going to do nothing. It might look great to the eye and look really pleasing to have your vehicle absolutely coated in a SnowFoam. However, it's basically not effective at removing the debris from your vehicle. And what we're going to do in this demonstration today is we're going to demonstrate the use of an intermediate foam, which is going to be the purple nozzle, and also the use of a really dry foam, which is going to be the green nozzle, to show you the difference in the effectiveness of the cleaning performance of a SnowFoam. And we'll demonstrate that very shortly. We mentioned you should fill this to 1 litre, which is actually incorrect. You should fill it to 0.75 litres or 750 ml, working out the PIR as you go. So on the bottle itself, you've got the markings. You want to go to 0.75 litres, no more, because the rest will be air, which will give you the pressure in the actual unit itself. So 0.75 litres, do not overfill it. The purple or black nozzle will already be inserted from the factory, which is your intermediate foam. And to change that over to get the dry foam is very straightforward. In the demonstration in this video, we're going to demonstrate intermediate and dry foam to see the difference between getting the right type of foam on your vehicle. Now, in terms of the two nozzles themselves, so you've got wet or dry, the main difference is the actual hole inside the actual nozzle itself. So you can see the orange one, you've actually got a much bigger hole than the green one. So when it says dry foam, what it does is it restricts the amount of foam coming out, which means you get a lesser foam than the wet one, which will allow more water to come through or more liquid to come through, which means you'll get a wetter foam with the orange one. So that's the difference between the two inserts. So now we've demonstrated that, what we'll do is we'll actually get the demonstration done about the foam itself, and we'll see what the results are. Does an intermediate foam, getting it to the right consistency, make a difference in cleaning your vehicle as opposed to having a dry foam for aesthetics? So let's check that out now. So in order to get a 4% PIR ratio inside the actual container itself, what you want to do is use about 720 millilitres of water. By the way, sorry to you viewers in America, but metric is just easier for us here in the UK. So 720 ml of water, and always put, detailer's top tip, the water inside the actual canister first before you put the SnowFoam in there, because otherwise what happens is the SnowFoam starts foaming up. So always put the water in first, and that's also true for your SnowFoam cannon if you're using a pressure washer. And then to get your 4%, we're going to use 30 ml of SnowFoam, and that will go inside the actual canister itself as well. Pump that in there. And a detailer's top tip, just suck up some of the liquid and squirt it back in just to make sure you get all of that SnowFoam in there. And then what you simply want to do is just screw the cap on. He says, trying to do it with one hand. It's actually quite difficult filming these videos and doing things as well, so apologies. And another detailer's top tip is this has gone just slightly over 0.75, but that's not too much of a problem as long as you get it roughly there, but not too much higher. Do not vigorously shake this now like a lot of people would do. All you want to do is just mix that solution lightly so it doesn't foam up too much in the canister. And then what you would do is now just pump it up several times. And once you've done that, you're good to go. Now, as you can see from this test panel, it is absolutely filthy from all the winter grime that is associated with driving your vehicle in winter. And ideally, it could really do with a traffic film remover prior to snow foaming, but this is going to be a good test to see how effective that snow foam is. So the IK foamer is pumped up and ready to go, and this is going to be the intermediate on the right hand side, so no dry foam, just normal foam as you would expect from a pressure washer. And as you can see, you get some really good coverage with this IK foamer, which is one of the benefits of this foamer. So as you can see, the foam that's coming out is not too dry, it's not too wet, and ideally this is the sort of consistency you want. So as quick as we could, we've put the green dry nozzle into the foamer and it's now pumped up ready to go. And on the left hand side, we are spraying what is the dry foam. And you can see compared to the intermediate foam that it's not coming out as thick. So there's basically less foaming occurring on the left hand side. And it is a lot thicker than what was coming out on the right hand side on the intermediate foam. However, you can see that there's still really good coverage from this foamer. So in this sped up footage, the foam was now left to dwell for approximately 4 minutes, and you can see in this footage the difference between the left and the right. So once the foam was ready to be rinsed away, we didn't use a pressure washer because, as usual in our demonstrations, we want to see the actual effect the product is having. So just by the law of physics, if you use a pressure washer, that will remove a lot of the dirt and debris. We want it to be as gentle as possible just to remove the snow foam to see what the actual product had done, either on the left hand side where you had the slightly drier foam or the right hand side where you had the intermediate foam. Now we will say in this demonstration is that the IK foamer is a professional foamer. So even though the foam with the green nozzle is designed to come out dry, it won't come out super dry because this is a professional foamer and it's designed not to do that. But hopefully you could see in the demonstration that on the left it was coming out slightly thicker and less viscous than it was on the right hand side with the intermediate foam. So because it's quite cold and damp in the UK at the moment, hence why there's so much dirt and debris on the actual bumper itself of that vehicle, we let the bumper dry overnight to actually see the results of the actual snow foam itself. On the right hand side of the bumper, we use the intermediate foam, we're using the purple or black nozzle. And on the left hand side, the green insert was put in to give you a drier foam or less water, which means you get a slightly thicker foam which dwelled a little bit longer. And in the footage you could see that on the left hand side, because there's less lubrication with the water, it actually dwelled a lot longer and didn't dissipate as quick as the right hand side. So we left the results overnight and these are the results the next morning. Now, when we do these demonstrations on our channel, we want to show you the real world results of what you'll actually achieve by using the products and methods we describe in our videos. So you can see that without using a pressure washer, the actual snow foam itself didn't remove too much of the actual debris on the vehicle. It still removed quite a lot. And hopefully you can see on the footage that on the left hand side where you had the dry foam, there's actually a little bit more debris left behind than on the right hand side. Not sure if that's coming up in the footage, but definitely in the flesh when you look at it, you can see that on the right hand side more of the surface contamination was removed by the snow foam. Once again, we didn't use a pressure washer to actually remove the snow foam because we actually want to see what the product is doing. Just by the law of physics, if you use high pressure, that will remove a lot of the dirt and debris, which you should do with the snow foam. Because as you can see in this demonstration and also some of our previous demonstrations, just by rinsing the snow foam away won't be as effective as if you use high pressure. So that is another thing to bear in mind. But for the purpose of this demonstration, like our previous demonstrations, we wanted to see what the product was doing. So we rinsed it away as lightly as we could to see how much effectiveness the actual snow foams had. And as you also saw from this demonstration, the IK foamer will not be suitable to actually snow foam an entire vehicle. I'm sure that's going to be a question we get asked when people watch this video. Is it enough to do a whole vehicle? As you could see, by just spraying half a bumper, we ran out of pressure quite quickly. So if you were going to use that snow foamer to actually do your entire vehicle, you'd be there quite a long time, pumping it quite a lot and also filling it up quite a lot as well. So as you can see in this demonstration, we used nearly half of the liquid that we mixed up, the snow foam. And if you were going to do your whole car, you'd be there quite a long time mixing fluid and also pumping it up. So the solution would be to buy a bigger snow foamer, because you can actually get IK foamers or other snow foamers in bigger container sizes up to 5, 6 or even 10, 20 litres. So if you wanted to do an entire vehicle, it is possible, but you would need to buy a larger snow foamer. In terms of spot treatment, like doing a small panel or your wheels or something like that, this IK 1.5 is absolutely perfect because it saves you the hassle of setting up your whole pressure washer system to do small areas. So if you want to do spot treatments, something like this would be ideal. If you want to do your entire vehicle, you would need to buy a bigger foamer as demonstrated in this demonstration. Just remember that when you're actually doing a pre-wash on your vehicle, the whole point of it is that you want to clear as much of the debris and contamination on your vehicle as much as possible before you come in with a contact wash. So if you're not getting the pre-wash right, then you're not having an effective clean or detail of your vehicle. And getting the consistency of that foam right is just as important as the actual foam itself. Don't get caught out by the aesthetics, detail for effectiveness. Thanks for watching. We hope you found this video useful. If you did, make sure you give us that thumbs up, make sure you subscribe, and make sure you press that bell icon to get alerts for all of our future videos. Now we know we keep mentioning this, but please make sure you do give us those likes, because the likes will mean that the algorithms on YouTube will spread our videos to more viewers. And obviously make sure you subscribe, because the more subscriptions we have, the more we can grow the channel and produce content for you. So thanks for watching. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, and we'll see you on the next video.